Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Lethal Library. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Dani.
And we are your hosts for another true crime tale today. Dani has another new one for us out of the state of Idaho, right? And I'm sure it's going to be a doozy because that's all that she finds. So what do we got, Dani?
You know how some people have a bad attitude in high school?
Oh, me?
Maybe they mouth off in class. Maybe they key somebody's car. And then there's John Delling. What started as a teenage grudge over getting kicked out of a party turned into smashed windows, stalking, random fights, and eventually a murder spree fueled by paranoia and delusion.
Wow. Escalating very quickly, seems like.
This isn't just another small town Idaho story. This is what happens when untreated mental illness and simmering personal beefs come together in the worst possible way. Today, we're walking through the case of John Joseph Delling from his first outburst as a teenager to his final sentencing as one of Idaho's convicted killers.
Wow. I want to hear this story.
Resources used for today's episode in the Idaho Statesman.
Love her. Before we segue into everything, Dani, I do just want to say thank you to our listeners who have been so very supportive. We know that we're only doing this every other week right now because we're just trying to live our lives in summer, just as you probably are too. And we've been able to have some fun. So thank you for being patient. Thank you for the comments that you leave on our episodes. We've had some great interaction. We had a little sticker giveaway. We were so excited to send those out to those that participated. We hope you love them. And some of you even reposted our stuff. We have our friend, I won't say her real name, but our friend Luna on TikTok reposted us. We thought that was so cool. So
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. It makes us feel so special and lovely. Thank you.
It does. I was like, oh, I was so
Just
excited.
unexpected, completely unexpected. So we really appreciate it.
And Luna, your sound, perfect.
Yeah, it was
So-
very cute. So thank you. Thank you
you.
so much.
Alrighty. 2003.
03, baby.
In April of 2003, John Delling, at the age of 17, smashed up a fellow teenager's car. Matt Meyer was at a local store and saw Delling. And I want you to remember this name.
Okay.
Matt Meyer.
Matt Meyer.
Matt and Delling had had a previous beef, so Matt and his friend flipped off Delling. Total high school.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like, oh, you dude? Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Flip from the bird.
Yep. And then it was on. Delling used a 3-pound club to smash Matt's cabriolet and beat his arm.
Beat his arm?
Yeah. And this wasn't any club. It was the club.
Like those little ones that you would keep in your car or whatever?
You locked your steering wheel? The club?
Oh, no shit.
No shit.
Oh my gosh.
I was
wow.
like, I read a club and then I was like, and then some parts that referenced the club and I'm like, what the hell? And I was like, oh, that club.
Wowie, wow. That's a little aggressive.
So back in the day, you buy this metal thing as seen on TV. Now these hooks, I don't even understand how that worked, but you put it on your steering wheel and nobody could steal your car.
Yep. And I mean, were car thefts even that rampant here? What city are we in?
Boise.
Let me just tell you, I only recently started locking my car. I know that's dumb. And I did have my car not broken into a few times, just opened, which I feel like is better. But I mean, what did I have in there? Trash, a couple fast food bags, and some change that was sticky from a drink that
You
spilled in
don't
the
even
cup
have
holder.
CDs to jack
this
anymore.
this was in my 93 Honda, and I'm like, it has a cassette player, bro.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Like, oh no, it's still my stereo. It doesn't have a system in this. It's a 1993 Honda Accord.
Yeah.
Like, it was the valet edition, like the special fancy edition. It came with a valet key so that the valet couldn't get into your
You're
glove
fucking
box.
bougie.
It was a bougie bitch in 93.
Yeah.
But in nowadays times, not quite so bougie.
Well, there's not even anything to, you don't have, back in the day, you had your CDs.
And the stereo system.
And, well, we talked about your
Speakers.
sister's removable face. Boom. It was a big deal. But not so much anymore.
I bet the people that broke into my car felt sorry for me. They're like, oh, you're poor, bitch. I feel kind of bad being here. You have 17 cents and like a stain on your seat from where you spilled your coffee.
I'm not even going to steal your 75 cents.
Yeah,
you have
keep
in
it.
in the cigarette.
You've got a couple chapsticks in here that are melted. Wow. You're having a hard life, sis.
Yeah.
We're like,
We're just going to.
we're gonna go home for the night. I feel bad.
But this was a pretty serious attack.
Mm-hmm.
Delling had made threats to kill Matt because he said he had ruined his life.
Oh man.
What was the beef? Earlier in 2002, Delling had came to a party where Matt was. After Delling made a sexual threat to a girl at the party, Matt and his friends kicked him out.
They said, hell no, brother.
So, you get these, you can really get lifelong enemies in high school over stupid
Oh
shit.
yeah.
But I mean, he shouldn't be making sexual threats to anybody. And they're like, no, dude, you're fucking weird. Get the fuck out of here.
And when you're in high school, it's such a bubble that it does feel like it's going to be the rest of your life. Even if you do something just silly and embarrassing, not even like a serious thing like this is, you embarrass yourself at parties. And this is before like smartphones recorded it. But everyone
this is before
talked
social
about
media.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
And it still felt like it was going to be the end of the world. So sounds like he took that very personally.
No, he said Matt ruined
His
my
life.
Yep. So this was a big deal in this neighborhood because it was all the kids went to the same high school. They all lived in the same neighborhood. So
Reputation.
with this outburst, Delling's parents moved to a new neighborhood and he went to it. He changed from Timberline High School to Boise High,
Okay.
which I can see what I see what they're doing. Like, let's remove him from this situation so he's not running into this kid
Hopefully
that just
start over.
right. The big deal, starting over. Let him figure out, find a new group of friends where he's not been embarrassed or. Plus, they don't want him trying to jump this kid again. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
because
so.
clearly he threatened to kill him. Like, yikes.
And he got in trouble for this. So Delling ended up pleading guilty to battery and malicious injury to property for the incident. And in a letter written to the judge, he said, quote, "This is an isolated event due and unavoidable to situational, social, and immature human perception enigmas of today."
He wrote this?
Yes.
He needed to put that thesaurus down. Immediate.
And it
Too
doesn't
many.
it doesn't flow, but he's not done.
Oh, Lord.
"I believe I have learned my lesson and realized the full spectrum of understanding behind all of this and its evil roots."
Before ChatGPT and AI, there was a thesaurus. And he was...
Thesaurusing?
He was thesaurusing. He was thesaurus maxing. And he needed to dial that down 5 or 6 clicks. That first sentence didn't even make sense.
It did
Would you
not.
mind reading it again?
Sure.
Just because my brain was like, huh?
I know. I had a hard time reading it because it doesn't make sense. Okay. "This is an isolated event due and unavoidable to situational, social, and immature human perception enigmas of today."
Enigmas. I'm sorry, my whole brain melted once again hearing that because there's just no way to even piece that together. I feel like they were all put in a bowl and he's like, enigmas, that's a winner. Boom, boom,
Big
boom.
words.
Give me 17 of them right now.
Delling was held in state custody for 3 days, and then he served 10 weeks of home detention.
That's
He
a long
was-
time in high school.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like feeling bad. I'm just saying being grounded for a month was like, oh, it's the end of the world.
Your life is over. But 10 weeks of home detention. And he was ordered to have no contact with the victim or his family.
Good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. And I think that I'm sure this was negotiated in a plea deal, right?
Sure.
All of these things. And I'm sure that was something that his parents considered in moving.
Yeah. Like,
So he could go back. Because
cut it off.
he was not going to be able to go back to high school.
Yeah. You have a no contact order?
Yeah. He would have to go to a different high school anyway. So the parent, and plus those poor parents, how embarrassed. Like, dude, really? Why are you being set? You did what?
You can't be beating the shit out of someone's car and arm.
And it was a cabriolet. Childhood friend Daniel Valasek, at this time, said he noticed a change in Delling. He'd become unstable, wary, and very paranoid. The Thompsons, Delling's neighbors around this time, were eating dinner when they saw a fight next door. Apparently, Delling's parents went to look at a motorcycle that he wanted, but they didn't purchase it. Delling was irate. The neighbors witnessed Delling push down his father in the front yard, and then he threw his mother's purse into the street.
Shit. This is, especially for that time, for a kid to act like that, that wasn't a common thing.
And I feel, even with all this drama that he had, right, with getting in trouble with the law, they were still considering.
Getting you a motorcycle?
They went to look at it, so they had to be considering it.
Yeah.
And when they decided to not purchase it for whatever reason, maybe it was too fast, maybe it was too expensive, maybe they said, fuck this kid.
Maybe he was being a little shit.
And they're like, no. But I think they were trying to be good parents. That's hard.
I think so too.
Delling finally graduates from Boise High and leaves to attend the University of Idaho in Moscow.
Which has been in the news lately. Y'all have heard it. I know you have.
And that's one reason that this story came on my radar.
No shit.
Is because it's just a very recent thing going on with the Kohlberger stuff in University of Idaho. And I was like, oh yeah, I know about one up there. So on April 25th, this is just going to keep escalating. On April 25th, 2005, Delling was cited for a misdemeanor. He was accused of disturbing the peace after threatening residents in his dorm.
Now you have another new fresh start. In college, if your bubble's bigger, you should. That's at least how it was for me. I know it's how it is for a lot of people. You realize things are never as serious as you think they are in high school. You have more friends. People are starting to have jobs, beginning to be adults. It's not as cliquish, you know.
You're going to find your person. I feel like college, there's an opportunity more to find somebody who's...
And to not be like your typical jock cheerleader.
Right. You're going to find somebody that fits your jam.
Yeah.
You're going to find your group.
And hopefully move on and realize that you don't got to take this shit so seriously.
But that wasn't the case for Delling. He was kicked out of the university.
Shit, it must have been bad.
Yeah.
Then. They don't just kick you out for...
And of course, I don't have the details of exactly what happened.
It's a school incident.
Yep. But he was kicked out of the university and prohibited from coming onto the campus for at least a year.
Yikes. That's not good. That means, so he was threatening residents. Is that what it was? You're already having problems.
Yes. Already problems. The criminal charges were later dropped, but he was still
not allowed.
Kicked out of the university.
Okay.
So he had to go back home.
But the parents were thrilled.
I bet you they were. Dripping with sarcasm.
Yeah.
A few months later, on June 4th of 2005, Delling pled guilty to stalking 3 men in Boise.
What are we stalking men for?
One of the men was Delling's attorney, Alan Sweeney.
Bro, he's paid to help you. He's paid to help you.
Delling had pilled out in front of Sweeney's home, and he'd done this several times. So the third time it happened, Sweeney gave chase to him, and he
had enough.
Yeah. And then Sweeney later found his tire slashed on his vehicle.
Why are you fucking with an attorney, bro? He's gonna nail your ass to the wall.
The other 2 men were Matt Meyer and Matt's friend who was in the car with him when Delling attacked him in his car. So he was stalking all of these guys.
Leave them alone. This was high school beef.
A no-contact order was issued, and 80 hours of community service was his sentence.
Please, go do the community service.
3 weeks later, Delling has another interaction with the police. Delling began yelling at a 13-year-old boy while in a grocery store parking lot. He loves those beefs in those grocery store parking lots, doesn't he?
And beefs with a 13-year-old?
He made threatening gestures towards the boy and ultimately approached him. He spit on the kid and then rammed him with the front tire of his motorcycle.
Oh, he did get a motorcycle. Okay.
The kid fell over but only scratched his arm. Delling was convicted of misdemeanor battery and spent 2 months in jail and had a year on probation and went through an anger management course. The red flags are flying.
Something's wrong here.
Something is wrong. Something is wrong with him. Yeah. I don't ever think at 19 or 20 I was giving a 13-year-old a second thought to have a beef with.
Because you're just, I mean, by design, cooler.
Right.
Even like,
he was on a bike, you were on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Stop.
Let's not do that, bro.
In late 2005, Delling's parents moved back to California.
With him?
He had nowhere to go. I had no indication that during my research that he was holding a job. I don't know what he was doing. And it's just constant issues.
No shit.
I think his parents hoped he might not move with them, maybe. You know what I mean? They were just over.
They were trying, it sounds like, you know, he was given a shot. I mean, U of I's never been cheap. Of course, it was much cheaper back in the earlies, but the early O's, what do you call them? The early aughts. The early aughts. That's weird to me.
I know. It feels bougie and weird. Can we just say the early 2000s? Like, that's what I say.
Early 2000s. Aught?
You
Maybe
oughta?
I'm just not bougie enough that I don't know the etymology of that fucking word. Like,
I think aughts are double zeros. But you better...
like a 30-06?
Yeah.
That never clicked for me.
Anyways.
The more you know.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel better now.
Okay.
Thanks for watching my brain cells collide or listening to my brain cells collide live on this podcast. I've just got a few clinking around in there and they did it today. I'm really proud of them.
Like a 30-06? Yeah.
I didn't never put the, okay.
Okay.
Things were learned today.
Even though Delling was on probation, he continued to travel back to Idaho.
Oh, no.
He had a suspended license, but was still able to rent cars. Okay, I'm going to show you something. And you can't see it, and I'm not going to read it. But look at all of these: no insurance, following too close, failure to yield, petty theft, battery, speeding, failure to yield, aggravated assault, motorcycle.
And this is within a few months.
It's all within like 2 years. Yeah. I mean, he didn't have his motorcycle license. He didn't have insurance several times. A lot of basic
He's riding dirty in every way.
Yes. So
And
there's a
just-
whole list. There's like 15 items on there.
To be getting caught that much, you have to be acting a fool.
Yeah.
Like, because listen, there was a time that I was very poor and I didn't have insurance and I was riding dirty all the fucking time. I had to get to work. I had gotten one ticket. It put me in the hole financially. I was going to have to get the SR22 insurance. I could not afford it. I was riding dirty. Everywhere I went, I was riding dirty. Guess who was driving like a 98-year-old grandma on her way to church? Me. I was. So to get all of these like little traffic infractions and like little
Don't
batteries,
give a fuck.
you're wild and out.
Yeah.
You are making a spectacle.
Yeah. He said, go fuck yourself, everybody. And he was able to still rent cars with a suspend. Hey, Enterprise, we know it was you because he was not 21. The only place you can rent a car was Enterprise. We know this.
Oh, Enterprise.
We're calling you out. You not check his valid driver's license?
They're like, you're a living, breathing human. Sure. Have a car.
Yeah. You know I'm right on that.
Well, and why are the parents can't control, but are they not wondering why he's continuing to go to Idaho? Or they're just like, he's out doing his little gallivanting?
I feel, remember the pushing down and the purse throwing? I feel that he was completely out of control and the parents, And we've seen this before in other cases. We've heard about it before. The child is so out of control. The parents are just, they don't know what to do.
They're trying to hopefully keep some bumpers on.
Right.
They can.
And it's like, okay, I mean, you're thinking about this like, okay, if I kick him out, he's going to be on the streets. Do I want my child on the, like, there's a whole lot of contemplating there. He has nowhere to go because our friends know about what he did. Like, he can't go even stay with friends. Like, he has just been abandoning.
So then who's he going to stay with, or what's he going to resort to?
Right. Or will he harm himself? Like, there's all of these things as a parent that you have to consider in doing this. And, you know, it would be very difficult. Yeah. But he was jamming back to Idaho to see somebody.
He was frolicking around. I think I know exactly who he wanted to see. There's been a pattern here.
Matt.
He couldn't let it go. Could not let Matt go.
2006 was pretty quiet for Delling, though.
I wonder why that was.
I don't know. Maybe he got on some meds.
Maybe he just found a friend or two that distracted him from the life of crime.
Maybe he got
a hobby.
Maybe he was consuming his time with the internet.
Oh, no. Early days of the internet. I mean, of course, it's terrible now, but you could find some crazy shit then, too.
Well, the only thing I could find in 2006 was that he posted on the website of the National Association for Christian Recovery in August of 2006. So a lot of people that are paranoid or have mental illness, they can lean towards religion in their delusion and paranoia.
Right.
Let me tell you what he wrote on that Christian Recovery website. The note was titled Demon Possession. Quote, I have been attacked and abused, discriminated against by many people for no apparent reason. There was a weird even about people putting Jew and Nazi memories in my mind. And then this guy named Sweeney, which is the name of the person who dropped on of the bombs on the second plane, I guess he may be a relative, put a whole lot of the yellow spinning energy into my solar plexus, and then I was sacrificed by possibly a vampire cult as the sun kind or something like that, end quote.
Okay. Just as you said, feeding into and exacerbating a delusion.
He is tying something to do with Judaism and Nazis back to his attorney Alan Sweeney.
Yeah. And a yellow energy inside of him, and oh, yikes.
It's spiraling.
Terribly.
On March 2nd, 2007, Delling had another family fight. During the fight, he told his brother Eric that David Boss, a childhood friend, was stealing his powers. This is not the first time his brother heard claims of people stealing his power or his aura. Delling was out of control and he damaged his parents' bathroom. And that was it. The parents said, "You're out." They were done.
Well, yeah, we haven't heard much from the brother. I didn't even know there was a sibling. I thought he was an only child, which I was almost thinking like, you know, sometimes that can be a little problematic, an only child, but knowing that he had a sibling and still the family was trying to deal with all this, like, what a chaotic situation.
Yeah. Parents said, "You're out." And Delling left. And they were living in California. So he left his parents' home in Antelope, California. I don't know where this is, so I looked it up for your convenience.
Thank you.
Antelope is about 15 miles from downtown Sacramento. So it's a suburb.
Right.
And Delling jumped on a bus heading south. He ended up in Tucson, Arizona on March 18th.
Interesting choice.
Is it?
Oh, God.
2 days later, on March 20th, Delling rode a bike to Jacob Thompson's house. He knocked on a window of the house at 1:30 in the morning. Jacob's roommate woke up and said that there was a person outside complaining that Jacob's truck was in the way and that it needed to be moved. The roommate woke Jacob up, and the pair hung out in the living room for a while listening outside. That would freak me the fuck out.
I would be strapping up.
I'd be calling fucking the cop. Like, there's somebody knocking on my window asking to move a vehicle. Shut the fuck up. I'm sleeping. But when the commotion died down, they went outside with flashlights and looked around. No one was there, and Jacob decided to go ahead and move his truck into the garage so it wouldn't be vandalized. He's a college kid. He's like, all right, who's fucking with me?
Prank or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and move the truck so nobody fucks with my truck, which is your most expensive possession, right? That's your baby.
Oh, yeah.
But Jacob decided to drive around the block.
Give it a quick scope out. I like this.
I would do the fucking same. Yeah. Dude, who is pranking me?
Yeah, we got some like little junior high schoolers out in a pack.
Or some drunk fucking sorority guys fucking with you. Like, no, I'm going to go find your fucking ass. Like, I'm just going to take a cruise. You already got me out of bed.
Yeah.
I'm already in the truck. I'm going to drive around the fucking block.
Little gander.
So Jacob drove around the block and he noticed a person riding the bike. Quote, I drove up to that person and asked them if they were the person that was in the front of my house. And that's when the rider pulled a gun and fired 5 shots, hitting Jacob. The man took off and Jacob laid on his truck horn until the police arrived.
I did not in any way, shape, or form picture that happening.
It was later discovered that Delling and Jacob attended high school together in Boise.
Wasn't Thompson a neighbor? Childhood Daniel.
Well, the Thompsons were the neighbors. I don't know if it's the same Thompson.
Okay, Thompson's very. Okay.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Because.
But they went to. How did you find? I mean, the internet wasn't that helpful at this year. Maybe if you're.
It was.
Sleuthy enough.
It was. It was later discovered that Delling and Jacob attended high school together in Boise. Jacob said he didn't even remember who Delling was.
This is like MySpace times as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
MySpace was big. Facebook was just barely starting.
Right.
So that's probably how.
It was probably the MySpace.
Man, I loved MySpace. We really fucked that up. We lost a good one.
I did not hurt the MySpace. I had to code in fucking shit to get my shit to go to do what I wanted.
I loved it.
Well, stuff.
It's okay. Facebook was only for college students at the time, and I was in college, so then they opened it up. But
yeah. I like the face.
Facebook was cool for a while.
I like the book face for family and just keeping in touch with family and
setting up a birthday. Sure.
Yeah. Also, you snoop on people you went to high school with.
I would never do that, Dani.
You're a fucking fat mouth.
I know. Only with the best intentions.
Fat mouth. Okay.
That side eye was really painful. You sliced me with that one. Said, bitch, be for real. Don't you fucking try. We all do it. It's okay.
We do. Well, at least 80%.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in the majority. Okay, cool.
It is what it is.
Delling then returns back to his parents' home in Antelope on March 22nd for just a few days before he purchased a one-way plane ticket to Boise.
Where's he getting this money?
I had the same question. I don't know. Maybe he did have a job. I doubt it. He was just missing for like 6 days going to Arizona.
Right. Things were very cheap then, I remember, but the pay everywhere was very low as well.
Maybe his parents gave him a little...
Maybe he had like a...
maybe he was on disability even.
Could be. Or maybe, I don't know how wealthy they were. Some families, they they just stock their kids' accounts with money.
After he arrived in Boise on March 26th, Delling was looking for a gun. Because look, you can pack a gun on a bus, but you can't pack one on a plane.
No, this is fresh after 9/11.
Right.
I know it's been like 6 years, but it was. You got a lip gloss that's too many ounces.
Trash.
Yeah, you're getting into the extra special security line where they might fucking strip search you.
So he was looking for a gun, and Boise resident Harvey Leiter III met Delling in a Home Depot parking lot.
Good old Harv.
Well, in Idaho, you don't have to you can buy from another. Yeah, I bought that gun from a neighbor 30 years ago.
It's like selling a TV.
Yep, you don't need to. I mean, it's a good idea if you keep a sales receipt. Just in
I
case.
sure would.
But yeah, you don't have to register your guns here.
So it's just a free-for-all.
Yeah. So he called up old Harv and said, "Hey, you want to meet me in the Home Depot parking lot?
Hell yeah, brother.
I want to look." Old Harv showed Delling the 38 caliber revolver that was for sale.
Not a 38.
Delling said he was a student from Oregon and handed over $300 and signed a bill of sale. Good on you, Harv. With the name of John Dalling. Come on.
Let's get a little bit more creative here, people.
I bet you that was the last minute decision.
I bet he was like, John.
Writing the J-O, because he spelled it different, because his name is J-O-H-N, and he signed it J-O-N. I bet you he was at the O and goes, oh, fuck. Okay, in.
Panic. Act
I don't have time to think of a last name. Smith is too obvious. Fucking, okay, Dolly. Okay, that works.
Nobody's gonna know.
But old Harv said Delling appeared calm and reasonable during the transaction. So,
okay. Well, $300, that's a lot of money back then too for a college student.
yeah, I bought a 38 a couple years ago and it was like $350.
But 300 in 07, 08, is that where we're at? I think.
And mine
so.
was pink, bitch.
Yeah, that's custom.
Custom.
You can't just get that anywhere.
No.
Yes, it's
Maybe it was a really nice 38. I don't know. Maybe the market was hot at that time because, that's how
well, and he was desperate. And I think, there's not the ease of shopping around. I mean, you got to get classifieds or was Craigslist a thing? I think it was.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Craigslist was a thing.
Yeah.
So, but still not easy to navigate and tons of scams. And
maybe old Harv said I'll start at 300 and I'll probably get asked 250.
And good old Delling was like, sold.
Done. No negotiating. Because he needed the gun. Old John Dalling.
John Dalling, get out of here.
On Wednesday, March 28th, 2007, Delling rents a white Chevy Aveo from Enterprise in Boise. I fucking know it's Enterprise. I didn't even remember that.
We gotcha. We got your fucking number. Enterprise.
Enterprise right there. He rented that white Chevy from Enterprise in Boise and he headed north.
What is a Chevy Aveo?
Oh, you want me to Google it?
Can we just see it? I'm like, I don't remember this.
Like a little tiny car.
Like a compact?
It's beyond a car. It's like a Yugo to me.
No fucking way.
I think so. If I remember. Aveo. Yeah, it's like a Yugo.
It's dorky looking.
Yeah.
Google it, guys.
It could have been a four-door. Hey, hatchback or four-door,
And the four-door definitely looks less fucking weird, but.
Okay.
All right, Chevy Aveo, shout out to you.
So he's headed north to his old stomping grounds.
Oh, lovely.
Delling arrived in Moscow, Idaho, late on March 30th. So he took him a couple of days to get up there.
Yeah.
And it is, what is that, like an 8-hour drive, 7-hour drive, you think? I think we've done this math before.
I think it's more. From Boise?
Yeah.
I think it's more because it's like past Lewiston because we did that. Yeah, remember?
Okay.
It's more than 8, I think. Well, it's one of You could
Fuck,
floor it and
okay,
not
let's
stop.
go to Google.
Le Google.
How many? I know we've done this before. From Boise to Moscow, Idaho. 5 hours and 30 minutes.
Really? Why? I feel like it took us forever. When
294 miles. Look, you got to stop. There's so many cool places.
Right. Maybe there was
So 5.5 hours to get up there. So he obviously stopped somewhere. You know what I'm betting? This is what I'm betting. He probably stopped in either like McCall or Riggins for the night, maybe Whitebird,
Yeah.
and then finished the trip.
Because let me just say, I love stopping for a trip if you've got
There's
time.
so many great little
Yeah.
towns going up that way. And if you take 55 up from Boise, you're going to hit Cascade and then McCall, and then you're going to hit, Riggins and Whitebird.
There's a lot to see. And I hate...
Lewiston and...
Listen, I know sometimes you have to drive through for the sake of the vacation because you don't want to waste too much time driving. But sometimes when you've done like 13 hours or more in a car,
Yeah, I just got ripped off.
It's such a drain.
It's nice to get out.
Yeah, be relaxed. Well, and I'm surprised that he took that much time getting up there. Because, I mean, we're going like a few days at a time between events here. And so for him to take a few days to do a less than 6-hour drive, that's...
It's like first, locate gun, second, rent car.
Have a nice scenic drive. He's like, I'm going to take my time.
Or maybe he didn't even start up to... I just thought of this. Maybe he wasn't even intending on driving to Moscow.
And he's just like, my heart's leading me there.
He might have been driving in another direction for a little bit and then ended up there.
Who knows? That's a good point.
So he arrived in Moscow late on March 30th.
Okay.
At 12:12 a.m. on March 31st, Delling called his friend David Boss, who was a student at the University of Idaho. They had about a 15-minute phone conversation, and then Delling headed over to David's off-campus apartment.
Very cool.
David, age 21, was found shot in the head twice in his kitchen by his roommate at 1:45 in the morning.
No. The roommate found him.
Yeah. So do you remember back with the bathroom fight with his brother?
Yeah.
He said David was stealing his aura.
Oh my God. This is just wild of professional intervention needed to be had years ago, and clearly just to take a leisurely drive and then just be like, yo, my friend David, let's chat on the phone for 15 minutes. Go over and pop his ass.
I think it's pretty clear that there's some mental issues, illness going on with this man. But the elaborate, what I found fascinating about this story, and I don't know if fascinating is the right word, maybe interesting, is even though he had to have been in a delusional state, he was able to plan out these things and make them happen
Right.
efficiently.
And you mentioned that the good old Harv that sold him the gun said he seemed cool, calm, collected.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like a weirdo, which...
So he was able to pull himself together when he needed to pull himself together.
Straighten up that tie,
He was probably just straight in his head, and he's like, all right, I got to go do this.
Go play my part.
Like, it's very... And this isn't a rampage where he's like walking into a mall and just shooting it up. Like, he is planning
Focused.
this. It's meticulously planned.
This story has taken so many turns drastically that I did not expect. And like, I don't even know how far we are in it. And I'm just like, what in the literal fuck?
Authorities believe David was shot around 12:30 a.m., according to noises heard by the neighbors. and there was no signs of forced entry.
Of course, because someone thought their friend was coming over.
David was a history major and was set to graduate in May.
Oh my God. Less than 2 months.
Yeah. University of Idaho President Timothy White stated, quote, "Quite frankly, I'm mad as hell. This sort of thing has not had a foothold in our community and will not have a foothold in our community." David enjoyed camping, backpacking with his father and his dog. No. He was
awful.
Yeah. He was doing all the right things.
And just inviting an old friend back from years before saying, sure, come over right now.
And let me tell you, so the Christmas before this happened, Delling went and visited David's family, and he was awkward, and it was not a good visit. And he was being delusional and all that stuff, but David was still like, you're my friend.
Yeah, an old bud.
You need help? You have any?
Yeah, come on over. Let's hang out. Still open and welcome. And how, of course, you're not really suspecting because he doesn't know all the shit that went down in Arizona and probably doesn't know about like the shit that's went on with his parents. And
no, he probably knows a little bit about what happened like high school years, but no, nobody knows what happened in Arizona.
That's still,
there is nothing going on with that because it's just a big boop.
Yeah.
David was also a lacrosse player in high school, and he went to the state championship. He also had a heavy metal radio show on the University of Idaho's campus radio station.
That's cool.
Badass.
Yeah.
Go, David. So, after Delling is in Moscow, he then heads to Baker City, Oregon, and then to Scipio, Utah.
Scipio or Scipio, one of the two.
About 600 miles away from Baker City. So this goes back to the thing where maybe he drove somewhere else before he drove up north, because he's just randomly driving places now. So he goes in and he shot David. He comes back down. I mean, that's a jump over to Baker City.
And then to Utah.
And then he goes to Utah. And I don't care, whatever that town is in Utah. Utah is still a hard jaunt from Boise.
Yeah.
It's not a 45-minute drive. It's hours. Yeah. He's all
What is going on here?
No rational thinking. Yeah. Authorities contacted Matt Meyer after David's murder to warn him and two other men that Delling might be coming to town to kill them.
What a phone call to get. Can you imagine that and being like, bro,
that was high school.
What are we doing?
Matt said he spent 3 days with a loaded shotgun waiting for Delling.
I would too.
He pushed his couch against the front door of his house. Matt said he knew this day was coming since he was 16.
It was that serious.
Yeah. And I think that the authorities talked to the family. I mean, everybody obviously knew that he had a mental illness. But I think with all of David stealing his powers and the stalking charges for Matt, they're like, yo, Matt.
Could be coming around.
And they don't even know about the Arizona guy yet.
It's just crazy to think that this was going on. I cannot imagine being Matt and just, I would have done this. I would have been getting out of town or doing what he was doing. And
on April 2nd, Delling returned to Boise looking for his third victim, Brad Morse. Brad, a student at Boise State University, met Delling years earlier on a gaming website. Brad was working at the Idaho Department of Park and Recreations. And after finishing his shift, he set the alarm at 9:31 p.m. at the Park and Rec building. This building is by the Idaho Shakespeare Festival.
Oh, okay.
Just to kind of give you a little insight.
Pretty out there.
Yeah. But still, I mean, it's out there, but it's still...
It's close enough.
The next morning, a state park employee noticed blood on the sidewalk. The employee followed the blood, and it led him to a pond where Brad was found with gunshot wounds to his head, neck, and arm.
And this is someone that he was on a gaming website with years before.
Yeah.
And he stalked him down.
Brad was a senior science major at Boise State and was on the dean's list for his grades 3 times. And he was set to graduate. So
the terror and I feel like this fits what you think of when you think of someone going postal, like that saying of just imagine, even if you knew you had a bad interaction with someone 3 years ago and everyone on a certain list is just getting ticked off. This is the stuff that doesn't seem real. Like, it seems like it's only for a movie, but this actually happened. This is just insane to me.
And that he's planning this because, and
he already had the info. Yeah.
I find it interesting. He was already in Boise. So why didn't he go find Brad while he was in Boise and then go up north? No, I feel like he had a very specific idea of what he was doing. And he had a list and a plan.
Well, and he hadn't faced much, like, getting caught for a speeding or doing anything. So there was nothing to really, he's been gallivanting all across the Pacific Northwest now, and nothing's happened to him. So he's like, well, let's keep going.
After shooting Brad, Delling returned the rental car back to the Boise airport around 10:50 p.m. and then somehow returned back to the Park and Rec building and took Brad's car.
What in the fuck? That's ballsy and stupid.
That's not logical thinking. The same day that Brad's body was found, Delling, aged 21, was arrested in Sparks, Nevada at 4 p.m. He was driving Brad's Mazda, and a gun was located in the vehicle.
Who was next?
Right? I'm going to tell you that I did read that he was looking for other people when he was going to Baker in Utah. And I don't know who those people were.
Because he could have got some information of who knows what the wrong was. A gaming website?
Yeah. Oh, but Brad Morris lived in Meridian. It wasn't like, you think a gaming website, oh, you're going to meet somebody all over the... No, they were like in high school playing games together, and he was in Meridian, and Delling was in Boise. It wasn't a far reach. Yeah. On Saturday, April 14th, Delling is finally returned to Boise. It took a hot minute. In an open letter to the Idaho Statesman, Delling's parents said they are searching for answers. They expressed their deep sadness at the loss and injury of those 3 fine young men. They also state they tried to get their son help, but that his problems overwhelmed the people who tried to help him.
I bet.
Quote, John was very sick and needed more than this system had to offer.
Well, and especially back then, it was kind of all or nothing with mental illness. Either you were mentally ill enough to be completely incapacitated and not able to hold down a life, or you were fine and being a whiny baby. Or just you were just a little weird.
I feel bad for his parents in this situation.
There was not the same resources, that's for sure.
Yeah. In a jailhouse interview with the Idaho Statesman, Delling said he drove nearly 6,000 miles around the western United States to find the people who had hurt him in the past.
A complete vendetta.
Quote, I didn't have any intent to kill people, let me put it that way. I'm pretty much possessed. I have no control over my body.
And he may very thoroughly believe that, and that might be his reality. Does not excuse it, but
Delling also claimed that he had been sexually and mentally abused during his childhood. He also told the paper that there is another person involved in the murders. Authorities said Delling's claims are part of his delusions.
could be. I mean, it most likely is, yeah.
And in June, Delling pled not guilty for the murder of Brad. Because these are different counties, so
Yeah.
it's going to
Have to play out.
Yeah. In February 2008, an independent court-appointed psychologist said Delling suffers from severe paranoid schizophrenia. The illness would prevent him from testifying on his own behalf. Judge Deborah Bell said Delling is not competent to stand trial and ordered him treatment for 90 days. And he is turned over to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare for treatment. And after 5 months of treatment, Delling is still not mentally competent to stand trial. December, Judge Bell set a trial date for July of 2009, even though Delling is still not competent.
One thing we know about Idaho, as we learned, the insanity plea is not an option.
Nope.
And the standard practice is to continue treatment until someone says that they are competent.
And they don't have to, like we said before, they don't have to be competent in all of their thoughts. They have to be competent to understand what they're on trial for and how a trial works.
Yeah.
You understand what a judge does. You understand what a prosecuting attorney does. You understand what your defense attorney is here for. You understand what a jury does. That's it. It's not about any rational thoughts about, do you still believe, do you believe that people are stealing your aura? Yes. Do you know what a judge does? Yes. Okay, you're going to trial.
Yeah, and that's how it goes here. So it doesn't surprise me that the judge is like, well, I'm going to estimate by the time July comes around next year.
In 2009, late January, 2 experts testified that Delling is finally ready for trial.
As they would.
Where is the insanity defense? Well, in the state of Idaho, that is not a defense.
Nope.
The law states a mental condition shall not be a defense to any charge of criminal conduct. Although Idaho was the first state to enact this law, 3 other states, Utah, Montana, and Kansas, also bar the use of the insanity defense.
The usual suspects are our stepsister Kansas. It's always like, you know what, Idaho.
That's a random one.
I like how you roll over there. What is up, Kansas? Why are you so obsessed with us?
So, this wasn't always banned.
No.
For the state of Idaho, it was barred through legislation in 1982. Why? In 1981, we're going to bring some Jodie Foster into this, okay?
Oh, shit.
In 1981, John Hinckley Jr. attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan. And when Hinckley was found not guilty by reason of insanity, it upset a lot of people.
They was not happy about this.
And I said, nope. Insanity can be used as a mitigating circumstance during the sentencing phase, but not as a defense.
So you might get some years off for a different sentence, but you can't just say, whoopsie, when,
I was not mentally capable of...
And even some people are not. It doesn't matter in Idaho.
No,
it does not matter.
So, and for you that don't know about Hinckley, he was obsessed with Jodie Foster and was trying to impress her by killing the president of the United States.
Because, as a young gentleman, what are you supposed to do in these times? It's so hard to stand out.
Hey, Jodie, look what I just did. No.
Jody's like,
no.
leave me alone.
By the way, I don't even like guys. Fuck.
No one got that hint. There's a hint there.
God. So that's why, and Idaho was like, it was like immediately like, oh, he got off. in 81.
They said, we ain't doing none of that shit.
No, we're going to change that law because we don't fuck around here.
They're like, we're going to put a stop to that before it even starts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they did.
Love it or hate it, guys. There are people that are truly insane. And
I think that this is a very good, I think Delling absolutely was a paranoid schizophrenic to pull this off, like stealing your aura, like, no.
and for years ago to steal your aura and you have to go.
He
hunt
was
someone
definitely
down.
mentally ill.
Yeah.
But it was not an option for him. But I still find it amazing the complexity of pulling that off and not getting caught.
He learned at some point because we had all those infractions and then something in him. He was like,
2006.
he's like, exactly. He's like, I got to stop freaking out on children. I got to cut that back a little bit. I got to stop flailing out in traffic and being a psycho and getting an infraction for everything. Something made him be like, I need to focus.
He found his focus because he's like,
And like you said, the internet, I think he found either a community
I can't take the gun on the plane.
or resources where he was like, I got to be smart about this.
Yeah.
I'm growing up. I feel like it was all still part of it, even though he was clearly a incredibly broken individual mentally.
Absolutely. But still had, and this is the thing, is that he still had the ability to put all of these things. It's a lot.
Especially, you didn't have Google Maps back then. You didn't have a GPS. You had MapQuest.
Yes.
You printed out your MapQuest. Sure. That was a lot harder.
I don't think he brought a printer with him on the trip, though.
Right. Was he able to print out the MapQuest? I don't know. But like getting to all these places, like if you find an address of someone, imagine not having any GPS apps and you're like, I need to go see my friend in a state I'd never been to and trying to find it. I mean, yeah, people did it, but I'm not that girl. I am not that girl.
And yeah, I was just like, wow. And obviously he's delusional, that he's obviously ill, but to still pull that off, because you would think that people that are to this degree of illness, that they, like, I feel like it's debilitating, like a non-functional disability at this point with your thought process, but still able to make rational choices.
I feel like the religion made him, like the dipping and dabbling into religion gave him a little bit more structure, because some people do need that at a very basic form. And this isn't talking shit about anything. It's just saying for some folks, they need that is their only form of structure that they can recognize and appreciate and respect. So I feel like something about that dibbly dabbling.
2006, it was very quiet.
And it was after he was on that forum talking about, I feel like that's it. I feel like, you know what, this is all speculation, but
Yes, it is.
it's an educated guess, I feel.
Yes. On May 27th, 2009, Delling pled guilty to second-degree murder of Brad. And in August, he pled guilty to second-degree murder of David. At his sentencing hearing, Judge Deborah Bell said there is no question that Delling was in the grips of delusional thinking when he shot David Boss and Bradley Morse. But the illness still allowed him to totally premeditate murder and cause enormous destruction aimed at innocent people.
Very dangerous.
Quote, his illness is at such an extraordinary level, it is unfair to place society at any risk. The prospect of any rehabilitation is at best speculative. Penalty is a useless concept when you are talking about someone this gravely ill. I don't believe Delling can appreciate the impact of his conduct at the time of the shootings.
Or even at the time of the trial, I doubt.
No. Delling told the court, quote, I want to say a sincere apology to the families, especially to Dave's family for what I did. Dave was a good friend of mine. If it hadn't been for what some people decided to do to me, none of this would have ever happened. I'll never do this again. I am not dangerous, in my opinion. It's just unfortunate. It's very sad.
Complete blame shift, though.
No, because he's still rationalizing in his brain that they were still, he's not.
Somebody else made me do, like, this is all because of all the actions of other people.
It's his mental illness. He's like, I'm sorry for what I did, but if they hadn't been stealing my power and my aura, I wouldn't have had to murder people.
Yeah, don't be stealing auras.
Judge Bell sentenced Delling to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. The life sentences will be concurrent.
I think that was necessary.
Well, it is, because in 2016, Delling attempted to escape from the Idaho State Correctional Institution. He climbed over 2 6-foot management fences, but did not get past the 2 more 12-foot fences topped with razor wire. And then he was moved to the Idaho Maximum Security Institution and given an additional 5 years. Because he is still mentally ill. They cannot manage it. And look, I imagine the management that you get on the outside of prison is probably extraordinarily better than a management you get inside of prison.
For sure.
So he's still ill. He might have his better days. But how sad that for that era, 20 plus years ago, that there wasn't more help for his family.
Beginning in high school.
Yeah. It should have been diagnosed.
Because I wonder how much of it is like, oh, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
It's a high school beef. Every high school teenage boy has their little vengeance and their little enemy or whatever. And it's like, no, this dude had to get restraining order. And I think we know as women how hard it is to get a restraining order. I wonder how hard it was for Matt. It's being a boy, if it was harder or easier.
I think with the attorney, it was probably pretty easy. I think it was probably on the easier side because it was not only the attorney, but it was Matt and his friend. It was all came up in the same thing. Like, this guy is stalking us. And I kind of feel like that was the time when like stalking laws really came into effect.
Started to pick up.
It was a big deal. But yeah. And with Sweeney's neighbors testified that they saw all this.
The lawyer that's on your side, bro.
Yeah. It's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, he's like,
can you imagine being the lawyer being like, bro, your parents just paid me this many $1,000. Like, why are you here trying
You're throwing your own self under the bus.
Like,
not me.
Why are you doing fucking burnouts in my yard, bro?
Yeah. In 2025, Delling is currently 39. God, he's still young.
That is wild.
And in the Idaho State Correctional Institution.
What in the fuck? There was at no point in this story, Dani, did I have any idea what was going to happen next, because it is just off the charts.
And I will tell you, I really thought about how structuring like this story. I'm like, I'm just going to have to start from the beginning. I just have to start from the beginning because it just is a shit show. And poor Jacob didn't even remember the dude. He lived. Can you imagine getting shot 6 times and living?
And you're like, this dude I came across at one point, apparently I stole his aura and he fucking tried to murder me and shoot me 5 times. What the fuck, dude? Oh. It's like, dude, the only thing that I could think of because this sounds untrue. If someone was to tell me this story in like a 10-minute synopsis and be like, this happened, this happened, this happened, I'd be like, no, you took a bunch of psycho shit, you put it on a dartboard, you put a blindfold on, and then you just took a bunch of crazy shit and put it into a story. This is the type of thing, if you were a writer and were writing a fiction story about this,
nobody's buying it.
Yeah.
And I just, I'm not here to dog anybody. A mental illness is a very serious thing. I just, as I was doing my initial research, was amazed at somebody with that kind of delusion, in the depths of their mental illness, would not make any mistakes before he shot 3 people.
I think his mistakes just weren't as big. And then he learned to kind of fly under the radar a little bit.
Maybe he learned his mistakes from all the little stupid shit. And then, I was just amazed like that he was able to.
For sure. And I feel like, once again, the religion gave him a little bit of purpose. Mm-hmm. You feel righteous in it.
Yeah.
And then also you can have some rules that you can make for yourself that aren't even necessarily with the religion, but you can now make, well, if I do this because of this, then it's not bad.
And to be so calm when buying the gun from Harv. He's just like, I just moved here from, I'm a student. I just moved here from Oregon. Just,
probably give myself a gun.
I want to give myself a gun.
Shooting.
Yeah. Target practice. Like totally playing it cool when in his mind.
He's going John Dollins or whatever.
Yeah. And in his mind, he's like, I'm going to go get Brad and I'm going to get David and I'm going to get, And the other people on his list that I was unable to locate who those. He didn't drive to Baker City for no reason. And he didn't drive to Utah for no reason. So anyway, that's where John Delling's story lands. 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Plus 5 years.
And an extra 5 years for trying to climb his way out of prison.
A little cherry on top for that. That's wild to me.
Idaho doesn't mess around with the insanity defense. Not since the early 80s. So no matter how delusional Delling was, the law saw it as cold, premeditated murder.
And it really was, because
he planned it.
And he executed it according to like the call with the guy, and then him just inviting him in. You know, that's cunning and that's manipulation. So crazy story, Dani. This is one of the wilder ones I think that you ever brought.
It was hard for me because I know I'm not, like I said, the mental illness thing is definitely a thing. But I was just, again,
it's flabbergasting.
Yeah. My flabbers were gasted at the planning and to go back to his parents after the Arizona shooting.
Just pop in.
Be like, yo, hey, I'm here. Hey,
I know you don't want me here. I'm just here for a few days until I get my plane.
I'm going to go back to Boise. So, anyways, thanks for listening, guys.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll have more stuff for you. TikTok coming soon. We might do another little giveaway here in a few weeks, so keep your eyes and ears peeled. If you don't follow us on TikTok, follow us, because we like to do little giveaways here and there when we can. We'd love to get you some stickers. We don't have anything. We're not giving away trips to Maui or anything, but we do have stickers, and that's almost the same thing.
Almost the same. What is it? Your Jet 2 holiday?
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday to the Lethal Library stickers mailed to you by USPS.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate our listeners. And again, tell your friends if they're into the murder mysteries.
Yes,
mouth
please.
is the best thing. So
that's the best. All right. Well, 10-4, Rubber Ducky.
Fuck yeah.